Welcome back to Sage Connections. Today I'm joined by Staci Sadowski, the founder of SMPL Tallow. I'm so excited for this conversation because we're diving into the story behind how she started the company, what motivated her, and the inspiration behind creating such a natural, nourishing skincare line. We'll explore the unique ingredients in SMPL Tallow, why tallow can be such a powerful alternative to traditional moisturizers, and who can especially benefit from everyday skincare to supporting things like stretch marks during pregnancy. We'll also touch on what people should know about possible downsides so you can decide if tallow is right for you. Enjoy. I love hearing origin stories of brands that people are passionate about. So, can you share how SMPL Tallow began for you and your motivation behind starting it?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Luba, I would like to thank you. I am so grateful for you inviting me to be on your program and to reach out to all of the people that are going to be watching and just kind of share a little bit of our story, a little bit about tallow, and hopefully enlighten some folks on, a new way of doing things that's been really popular and kind of hitting the market by storm lately.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I heard about it on Instagram, and then we actually ran into each other at the farmers market in
mhm,
Farmington. And
mhm.
I got so excited because I've been wanting to try it, but then it just sort of, I get distracted and whatever. So it was, and I have been using it. I had a very stubborn mosquito bite situation, and
Uh-huh.
I started using it, and it's perfect. It's gone. So,
I am so excited because that is actually on our list of must tries. We wanted to try and figure out like a mosquito, not a repellent, but just like, well, kind of like a repellent, to kind of put some scents together with the tallow and see if we can come up with like a mosquito go, like a bug go or something
yeah,
like that to get rid of it.
I love
But
it.
we started actually, it's a great little story. We actually own a chiropractic office in Commerce Township, Commerce Chiropractic, and we've been there for 34 years. And my husband and I have always, from day one, have always looked at trying to incorporate in our lifestyle more simple things. We eat very minimalist in terms of our food. We always really kind of go back to that old ancestral way of doing things. We avoid our seed oils. We don't put a lot of stuff into our preparing of our food for our kids or our family or even our dog. And so the approach that we have always taken has been very holistic. And having a chiropractic office, we incorporate that into our office, and we, talk to our patients about that. And before it was like hip and cool to like read labels, we were avoiding all of the seed oils and we were adding in more natural fats and eating meat. And we weren't on the hype that, went for so long, that rage of, low fat this and low fat that. We ate the fats and we ate the real sugar and not the fake sugar. And so we would teach our patients that. And so as we're teaching in over 34 years, right, we do a lot of hand washing. And so we would, talk about this whole holistic approach to healthcare. And, as we all know, what you put inside your body has a direct effect on disease and chronic and aging and chronic problems that people have. And the healthier that you can be by putting more healthy food inside you, the better you're going to have overall health. And so back to, my husband's adjusting and, he's washing his hands constantly and would go back and, of course we thought we were putting on the healthy lotion, right? And, you put it on and you have to lotion all day long, all day long. And, your hands are never ever soft. And what commercial products, what of course they don't tell you is they're just so packed full of chemicals, and they're convoluted and they're polluted and they're expensive, and they draw water out of your system because they really do have water and alcohol in it. And so it's kind of a repetitive process. So you think you're moisturizing, but you're actually pulling that water out with the alcohol. And so we started looking at, because we always cook with tallow, we started looking at the benefits of tallow and how versatile it is. For centuries, people have cooked with tallow. And now they're finding that, and they make candles too. Now they're finding that putting it topically on your skin has some just amazing benefits. So we came up with this crazy idea. We said, we cook with tallow. What if we made something for healthcare and, or, for our skin? And so we kind of put some stuff together. It took about a month or so, kind of, in our big pot and stirring and trying to figure out what worked best. And we brought it into the office. We started using it ourselves. And we're like, you know what? If we use it ourselves and it works, it's great. We brought it into our office. And I will tell you, it went like bonkers. People were buying it. We were waking up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning because we had orders that we had to make. And it just for a couple months, it was just like gangbusters and it just kind of organically grew. And so, we would have patients that would come in and they're like, I've got this little spot of eczema on me, or I've got these bumps on my arm, will it help that? And I'm like, I don't know, but let's try it, right? And so they would put it on there and it worked and people started to just love it. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's make a website out of it. So I made a website and it has organically grown throughout the United States. So we ship nationally. We ship to all the states, and which has been really fun and exciting. And then we're like, wow, and we're very out there. We're in the community. And I thought, you know what? Let me look at some farmers markets. My son just moved to Royal Oak and we went down there and I was, kind of walking around and the market manager was there and I just, happenstance started to just chat with her. And she said, oh, wait a second. Are you the tallow lady? And I'm like, I don't know, but I guess I could be. And she's like, oh, I want this product. She said, they have 200 people on my waiting list, but I would absolutely love to, feature it at the market. When can you come? And I said, well, when do you want us? And she's like, how about Saturday? And this is like a Thursday. So I ran home and I'm like, start whipping it together. We got a farmer's market to go to. Had no idea. So, and now we're in multiple farmers markets. We sell out of our office and then we sell online as well. And it's been fun. It's been really fun. The fun part is creating the names of all of our products and it's creating the different scents. So it's been great. And I'm glad you're using it.
I am. Yeah. It's so interesting you bring up the alcohol and, because as a physical therapist, obviously I'm also washing my hands all day, every day. So are all the other, practitioners that,
Mhm.
should be.
Right, of course.
And then in the winter time, it's absolutely impossible to get, the right amount of moisture into your skin. And so it's so nice to have a product that actually kind of like stays there. And in COVID also we were putting hand sanitizer on everything and on ourselves and then on top of that washing and on top of that like it was just a
Mhm.
vicious cycle and yeah
It
so
is a vicious cycle. Mhm.
yeah so
And the
it's so
nice thing is that tallow actually is a powerhouse of nutrients. And when you start to see your skin start to adapt to it, you're going to see some incredible benefits. And you really only need to apply it once a day. Like I'll get out of the shower, I'll slather my whole entire body, I'll put some on my hands, I'll do my cuticles, I put a little bit on my face. I am good to go for the whole entire day. It's not that repetitive application process that you go through with a lot of those commercial products, which can be very expensive.
oh yeah.
So going back to something more natural and organic, you are going to save so much money and not spend a ton of money on all of those commercial products that, like I said, are chocked full of these things that just dry your skin out and you just have to keep reapplying. So it definitely is a vicious circle for sure.
So what
So
exactly is in the simple tallow that makes it unique?
good question. So, and I get this all the time. So we use grass-fed, it's organic grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow. And we get it from regenerative farms that are very respectful, of course, of the animals throughout the United States. We get that shipped in, we render it, and a lot of people don't understand what rendering is. Rendering is actually heating up the product, separating the fat and the water, freezing it, comes out like a pancake, like a big thick pancake. We flip it over, scrape all the impurities off of it. And we do that again. That whole process is a 1 day process, and that is called rendering. So we will bring in the tallow, we'll render it anywhere from 5 to 10 times. That's why when you smell our product, you don't smell beef stew, which is really what tallow is. And so we render it, we infuse it with organic avocado oil, which is really important because a lot of the companies out there will use seed oils, which just blows my mind. They'll use shea butter and they'll use jojoba butter, and it's yeah. We use organic, pure avocado oil. A lot of companies will use olive oil, and we don't use olive oil because olive oil can have a smell. It can also go rancid. It's a little bit of a cheaper oil to use, and so we like to use a little bit of a pure process. And so we have switched to avocado oil. And then we infuse it with organic essential oils from Italy and the Netherlands. And as we all know, the European standard is much nicer in terms of our standard in incorporating how they process essential oils. So we ship all of our scents in from Italy and the Netherlands. And then we whip all of that after we get it all ready into a really pretty balm. And then we sell it in 3 different size jars, and we have a lip balm. So the big difference is, I think, the avocado oil. The big difference is the essential oils that we use that are pure and clean. And it just comes out great. I mean, you can take a product and, if I say, hey, this is lavender and vanilla, as soon as you open it, you smell lavender and vanilla. You have not a scent of beef. Who wants to walk around smelling like, a steak all day? Not I.
Right. Not me neither. Yeah, it's interesting. So the reason why the avocado oil is the best is because it doesn't go rancid like all the other seed oils.
If you open up an avocado oil bottle, and if you open up, say, an olive oil bottle, like we won't use the seed oil, so we'll use like the avocado oil. But if you open the 2 bottles and you smell them, or even if you hold them up to the light, you're going to see definitely a difference in it. In our experience and in our opinion, the avocado oil is it's more expensive. It's more difficult to manufacture with. When you smell the olive oil has a shelf life that can go rancid, and it has a smell. And we just really didn't want that smell of an olive oil infiltrated into mixing around with a tallow or an essential oil of lavender and a vanilla, and then you've got an olive oil smell in there. So avocado oil, if you even just do a quick smell test to both of them, you're going to find the avocado oil is a lot cleaner of a product to use. And so that's why we use it.
Okay.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
is nice. Like the texture is really nice. It is very whipped, which I was expecting it to be more the consistency of maybe like a coconut oil or something like that. But
Mhm.
it's
Harder.
whipped and it's light. And
Yeah.
I was really surprised that it wasn't greasy. Like I expected it to be kind of greasy
Oily.
or oil,
Yeah.
yeah, oily or
Oily.
heavy or something, but it's very
Mhm.
like
Yes.
I think of like whipped cream cheese since we're talking about pudding, we're talking about food anyways.
Let's just talk about food.
Yeah, don't put whipped cream cheese on your skin, but yeah, it is a very very lovely like texture that doesn't really and it doesn't really I don't feel like it sticks to clothing, and that's another thing I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you. Is it okay to put on like at night and then put a nightshirt or whatever pajamas
Yeah.
on? Is it
Yeah.
gonna it's not gonna
N-
stain?
No, you know what? The more you use it, and I always tell folks this, the more you use it, the more your skin starts to self-adjust to it. So tallow is actually, this is, I think, the key to everything. Tallow is bioidentical to your own skin cell composition. So it's like putting on a second layer of healthy skin cells. It is so rich with vitamin A and D and E and K, this little known vitamin that nobody ever talks about. And so the amount of benefits you get just from those fatty acids, amino acids, triglycerides are amazing. And then the more you use it, and I always tell folks, look at when you begin using it at week 1 to week 3, how your skin barrier has changed because you have on top, this is called a sebum, the skin barrier. And as you begin using it, tallow, which mimics that skin barrier, that cell composition, your skin's like, wow, it starts to kind of, I always say it's kind of self-adjust to it. And then as soon as you start to put it on, it just sucks in all the moisture. So I'll put it on and then I'll put my clothes on right after it and it's great. It will soak right in. But it's wonderful. It's great for fine lines and redness and wrinkles. I always like to use it on my face. I'll put a little tiny bit on my face. I'll slather myself up after the shower. And then at night I'll wash my face and I'll put a little bit back on and it's wonderful. So absolutely. But back to the benefits of it, tallow has incredible amount of benefits. Vitamin A, if you think about what vitamin A is a cell regenerative vitamin. It helps with the proliferation of those cells. And it's wonderful because, folks will have, fine lines or they'll have wounds or they'll have acne. It's great for acne because it'll start to balance the pH in your system. Scars, it's wonderful for discoloration and redness and wrinkles and crinkles and all of, I'll have older women that, they'll come up and they'll be like, I've got crinkles all over my face. Will it help with that? And I can't guarantee it, but it definitely will help because it is a much more natural product to put on your skin. So vitamin A, that's just one of the vitamins inside tallow. You've got your vitamin D, which is your sunshine vitamin, and your vitamin E, and everybody knows how wonderful vitamin E is for, wound healing and anti-inflammatory. Tallow is enormously anti-inflammatory. It'll calm the inflammation and the redness in your skin. It's great for discoloration. That vitamin D and the vitamin E just has an incredible amount of nutrients that will help the skin. And then vitamin K, nobody ever talks about vitamin K. And vitamin K is wonderful. It's a little known vitamin, and that is really wonderful for skin elasticity. And so that is great. So I'm putting that all over my face for sure as I age. But the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that it is wonderful for eczema and psoriasis and little bumps on your arm, diaper rash. We have a lot of parents that'll buy, their poor little kids are coming up with, they're on steroids because, they've got eczema, and they're 2 years old. And that's a whole nother topic we could talk about. But, they'll try the tallow and, they'll come up and, they'll buy jar after jar because it's working for them and it's working for their child. And, we've had folks that'll have that little, bumpies on their arm and they'll put that on their arm and they're like, oh, this is amazing. So as you begin to use it over, a 3-week process, you're going to start to see a lot of different changes. Of course, in the very beginning, there's going to be just that moisture, that nutrition of that moisture that's going to be infiltrated into your skin, and your dry patches will become less dry and your oily patches will become less oily. And then you'll get into that week 2 where the barrier will start to change and you'll start to really see the tone, your skin tone will start to even out. The discoloration will start to even out. And then week 3 is where you really get the deeper results. And so that's kind of fun to see. And then as we are at markets or, we'll hear off of our website, people who use it, and I always tell people, use it consistently, make a commitment to it, just use it on a consistent basis and see what happens. And so, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a million people I'm thinking of right now that that I'm going to send this to listen. What about, I see a lot of pregnant women in my practice. What about stretch marks? Does it help with kind of reducing?
It's like anything. I'll never say, what this is, here's the magic formula.
Right.
Because, if you had the magic formula for stretch marks or for scars or for anything,
Yeah.
you'd be a billionaire. But it's a lot more natural. It's a lot more user-friendly. It's a lot more healthier to put something like tallow on your skin that's chocked full of these nutrients, this powerhouse of nutrients, which we know have vitamin D and vitamin E and all of those little creams that you get from your OB, to help with the stretch marks. If you look at the ingredients of that, it's vitamin D, it's vitamin E, but it has a whole bunch of other commercial chemicals inside it. If you can eliminate the commercial chemicals, if you can eliminate all of that, and just put something more natural on your skin. Now, your skin is your largest organ in your entire body. It's extremely porous. What you put on your skin soaks into your bloodstream. For instance, folks will have medication packs and they'll put, those on their skin and that soaks into their bloodstream. The nicotine patches. So anything that you put exterior will soak interior. So not only do you want to take care of yourself from the inside out, but you also want to take care of yourself from the outside in. And I always say, you know what, you have to make sure that this is what I always tell folks is, if you can't put it on a spoon and eat it, you shouldn't be wearing it. And that's really what our philosophy has been, not only in our practice, in our chiropractic practice, but also, just raising our kids. We've got two boys and they're 25 and 23, and they've been raised on this philosophy their whole lives. I mean, from day one, I made their baby food. I was the mom making the baby food and, packaging it in little, ice cube trays. And, our dog is 14 years old. I make his food. I mean, he doesn't eat anything processed. And, we've made our own almond milk from scratch. That's the only kind of almond, that's the only milk we drink. We make our own pancakes and our own granola. And, we're kind of, I don't know, just kind of like that. I mean, we enjoy it and we just feel better after we eat it. And, and it's fun kind of, putting the process together. But this was really fun putting it together too, and then seeing the results and then giving it to people, or if people were purchasing it and then, circling back around with us and saying, wow, hey, this stuff really, really works. And so, yeah. So for pregnant women and stretch marks, I definitely, absolutely would recommend just doing something more natural.
I mean, there's so much talk about endocrine disruptors and that, and so it's so nice to have an option that is clean. I mean, we're all looking for clean, but even if, I was looking at makeup today at Ulta, even the clean stuff still has,
Isn't really
it's not
clean.
clean. It's
It's
not
not clean.
clean. So
Right.
it's
Mhm.
it's so amazing that it's three ingredients and
Yes.
everything's like the top of the line
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
and
no chemicals, just three ingredients. And
yeah.
that's really where we came up with the name Simple,
Hmm.
because we just kept circling back around and going, wow, this is just simple. I can't believe everybody's not doing it. This is just simple, and then we just kind of basically underscored the word simple. And we're like, wow, let's just call it simple. It's
Yeah,
just really easy. I guess that was better than calling it easy tallow.
right. Yeah.
Right,
So
exactly.
are there any potential downsides to using tallow? Like the only thing that really comes to mind is maybe somebody putting on their face if they have very oily skin or, a lot of acne. Would it be too much for
So
them?
that is a great thing that you said. So I will right now bust a myth. Tallow will not clog your pores. Okay. It really won't, because it is bioidentical to your own skin cell. So it's like taking your skin cells and putting it back on you, but healthier. And one of the things that I see, so when you start to use it, and I always tell people there's like a purging period, right? So that 1 to 3 weeks. If you have a lot of acne, you have to use it on a consistent basis so that your skin normalizes back to the way it should be. Um, so one of the things that most people make the biggest mistake on is they use way too much, and they're like slick. And so all you really need is a pea size amount. Okay, so for instance, I have a little jar here. So to put on my entire face, literally, and I don't know if you can see this, this is the amount I would use. Women don't know this amount for their face. Women will literally just scoop their finger in and come out with this big thing, because that's what we're trained to do. Because for so long, all the commercial products that we put on, you have to slather it on because your face was always getting so dry. So, but that little amount that I just put on, I could literally do not only the top of my hand, but up my forearm with just that little amount. And so as you're putting on the product, you just you it's counterintuitive. You want to put on more because that's what you're used to and that's what you've been trained to do. But you want to really just use a tiny, tiny bit, and then your skin will start to normalize. So in terms of, are there any downsides? Now, tallow is not for everybody, right? And we understand that. There are people that are philosophically opposed. There's people that just can't get their head wrapped around, putting beef fat on their face or on their body. And, I respect everybody. And everybody's philosophy and all the different ways of life. I mean, believe it or not, I have quite a few clients that are vegan that will actually use the product. And there's people that don't want to use the product. But in terms of, a disadvantage, I mean, it's beef fat, it's avocado oil, unless you're allergic to avocado oil, and essential oils. I mean, you can't get more cleaner and natural than that.
Wonderful. Okay. This was so amazing and informative. And I will definitely link everything in the show notes of how people can get a hold of you. Do you have anything else to add for the audience?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I know right now that it is just a very hot topic. And I have been super excited to be able to share this not only with you, but with your audience as well. And I am always available. I put my cell phone, my personal cell phone, right onto our website. If anybody ever wants to get in touch with or ask any questions or have any, concerns. We've got scents and fragrances for everybody. We have everything from lavender vanilla to a frankincense, timbermint, and bergamot, like a woodsy scent. A lot of folks will ask, hey, what's that would be good for, a 16-year-old? And our orange creamsicle scent would be
Mhm.
great. We also make a sunblock, which has 20% non-nano, so non-absorbing zinc oxide in it. That you can put all over your face as well. It'll go on white, and then you can just rub it in and it becomes clear. I put that underneath my makeup. So we have a lot of different varieties. We have a lip balm, and then we have a lot more products up and coming. But we also have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page that we connect with folks on that as well too. But I have been very, very, very grateful that you invited me to come on. I'm super excited to share this. I know it's a hot topic among everybody, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions if anyone has them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
You too. Thank you so much to Staci for sharing her story and wisdom with us today. And thank you to everyone for joining me for this conversation. To learn more about Simple Tallow or to try the products yourself, you can find all of Staci's links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who might benefit. And don't forget to leave a review or connect with me on Instagram. Your support helps us spread the word and bring more inspiring conversations like this to you. Thanks again for listening to Sage Connections. Until next time, take care of yourself and your wellness.